It's really interesting today when we're looking at superannuation at the end of a career, but you also then look back at your kids and even your grandkids and think, well, are they going to go on the same journey as us? When you talk to young people today, most of them aren't. It's something that they have to do, and it's a bit of a pity because I think most of us, if we had our time again, we would be more interested in our super. So how do you get them involved in looking at their super, and how do you get even grandkids involved in thinking a little bit more about money and finances? You know, because there's less of it around. People don't see cash anymore. People don't see a cheque anymore. Our kids and our grandkids will never write a cheque. So it's all changed, and everything's more accessible. I know when I go and buy a coffee or lunch, you know, I tap my watch, and so some of those things that in the past where you actually had the physical, the tactile piece about money, that's gone. So we've got to start talking to our kids and grandkids differently. I think with grandkids, in some ways that's a bit easier because, you know, you can help them set up savings accounts and those sort of things, and I know there's tax implications with that, but you can help them set up a savings account and start letting them understand about what's a savings goal, and if I do get pocket money, how much do I put into this savings account, and how much can I still spend? And when I get to a goal, how do I celebrate getting to the goal and being part of that and helping them through that journey and showing them, because they're all so tech savvy, that they can see it now on a mobile phone or on a computer of what's happening and how much closer they're getting to their goal. And if they're doing that, by the time they get into the workforce, they're going to be a little bit more interested in saying, well, what's that thing? How much am I saving through my super? I know it's a longer term goal, but if they've already got that in their psyche, then that's a great thing. With the kids, it's a bit differently, because just to start having that conversation now is hard. And I know that, you know, I've got a house full of 20-year-olds, and having that conversation is different for each of them. Some of them, I've actually sat down and said, look, let's do a budget for the next couple of years, and I've provided them with the forms and said, look, this is what I'd be filling in, because in another couple of years, you know, you're not going to be here in the home. You want to be able to start thinking about, how am I going to be surviving in the real world without mum and dad? And then sitting down and doing that budget themselves and then talking to you about it has been a really, really interesting and actually a fun conversation, because some of the things they didn't realise that we were paying for still. Other times, to have one of my other kids to talk to me about, Dad, I've got this option to go into superannuation. And without giving advice, I sat down and said, well, how do you sit down and look at what you're going to get out of that super fund that your employer, which is a part-time employer, has recommended them go into? And we've sat down and talked about those things, and interestingly, because they knew a little bit more about it as opposed to some of the money's going there, they've actually continued to come back and talk to me about, why has this fee come out, or why has this insurance come out, do I need this at my age? And they've become more involved in super. There's not a silver bullet to get everybody interested, but getting them interested in the super by one means or another is really important, because whilst they're thinking a lot of the time is, this money's going away and I can't touch it, they will touch it at a really important time in their life. So that's something that you've got to encourage, and it's a long story or long conversation with them over a number of years, but it's a really worthwhile conversation.